Today we have a really interesting geometry problem involving two circles, tangents, a secant, and a little bit of clever angle chasing. We are given two circles resting on the same horizontal line, and the two circles touch each other at point R. A straight line passes through the larger circle at point P, then through the touching point R, and finally meets the smaller circle at point Q. We are told that PR is 32 units and RQ is 18 units, and our goal is to find the area of the larger circle. So let's work through this carefully, step by step, because the main trick in this problem is not the final area formula. It is discovering the diameter of the larger circle. First, let's name the point where the larger circle touches the horizontal line S. We already have P at the top of the larger circle, R where the two circles touch, and Q at the bottom of the smaller circle. Now look at the straight line P, R, Q. Since R lies between P and Q, the entire length PQ is simply PR plus RQ. We are given PR equals 32 units and RQ equals 18 units. So we can write PQ equals 32 plus 18, which gives us PQ equals 50 units. Keep that result in mind because we are going to need it very soon. Now, we want to find the horizontal distance, SQ. This is where the tangent-secant theorem becomes useful. Let us look carefully at the larger circle. The horizontal line touches the larger circle at S, so SQ is a tangent segment from the external point Q. At the same time, Q, R, P forms a secant through the larger circle. The tangent-secant theorem says that the square of the tangent length equals the external part of the secant multiplied by the entire secant length. Here, the external part is QR, which is 18, and the entire secant is QP, which we just calculated as 50. Therefore, we can write SQ squared equals QR multiplied by QP. Substituting the values, we get SQ squared equals 18 multiplied by 50. 18 multiplied by 50 is 900. So SQ squared equals 900. Now, take the positive square root of both sides, because a length cannot be negative. Therefore, SQ equals the square root of 900, which is 30. So, we have found another important length. SQ equals 30 units. If you are following along, this is a good point to pause and check the numbers. PQ is 50, SQ is 30, and later these two numbers are going to give us the diameter. Now comes the most important angle step in the entire problem. We need to prove that angle PRS is a right angle. To do that, draw the common tangent to the two circles at their touching point, ER. Let this tangent meet the horizontal line SQ at point T. Now pay close attention to the tangent property. From the same external point, tangent segments drawn to a circle have equal lengths. For the larger circle, TS and TR are both tangent segments from T, so TS equals TR. For the smaller circle, TR and TQ are tangent segments from the same external point, T, so TR equals TQ. Therefore, we have TS equals TR equals TQ. This means we can treat the two triangles around point T as isosceles triangles. Consider triangle SRT first. Since TS equals TR, the angles opposite those equal sides are equal. Let each of those equal angles be alpha. So the angle SRT is alpha, and the angle RST is also alpha. Now consider the other triangle, TRQ. Since TR equals TQ, this is also an isosceles triangle. Let the two equal base angles be beta. So the angle TRQ is beta, and the angle RQT is also beta. Now notice something very important. S, T, and Q all lie on the same straight horizontal line. Therefore, the two angles at T, one from each triangle, together form a straight angle, which is 180 degrees. The angle at T inside triangle SRT is 180 degrees minus 2 alpha, because the other two angles are alpha and alpha. Similarly, the angle at T inside triangle TRQ is 180 degrees minus 2 beta. Since those two angles together make a straight angle, we can write 180 minus 2 alpha plus 180 minus 2 beta equals 180. Now, simplify this carefully. We have 360 minus 2 alpha minus 2 beta equals 180. Move 180 to the other side, giving 2 alpha plus 2 beta equals 180. Divide everything by 2, and we get alpha plus beta equals 90 degrees. But alpha plus beta is exactly the angle SRQ. Therefore, angle SRQ equals 90 degrees. Now look back at the original straight line, P, R, Q. P, R, and Q are collinear, which means RP and RQ point in opposite directions. So, angle PRS and angle SRQ form a straight angle. Since angle SRQ is 90 degrees, angle PRS must also be 90 degrees. In other words, we have proved that angle PRS equals 90 degrees. This is the key moment. Now we can use the converse of Thales' theorem. Remember what Thales' theorem tells us. If a triangle is formed inside a circle and one side of the triangle is a diameter, then the angle opposite that diameter is 90 degrees. The converse says that if an angle in a triangle inscribed in a circle is 90 degrees, then the side opposite that right angle must be the diameter of the circle. Here, P, R, and S all lie on the larger circle, and we have just proved that angle PRS is 90 degrees. The side opposite this right angle is PS. Therefore, PS is the diameter of the larger circle. This is exactly the observation that makes the rest of the problem straightforward. Now, we need to find the length of piece. Notice that S is the point where the larger circle touches the horizontal line. A radius drawn to a point of tangency is always perpendicular to the tangent line. Since PS passes through the center of the circle and S is the point of tangency, PS is perpendicular to SQ. Therefore, angle PSQ is 90 degrees, so triangle PSQ is a right triangle. We already know two sides of this triangle. PQ equals 50 units and SQ equals 30 units. Because the right angle is at S, PQ is the hypotenuse. Now we can apply the Pythagorean theorem. The theorem tells us that the hypotenuse squared equals the sum of the squares of the other two sides. Therefore, PQ squared equals PS squared plus SQ squared. Substitute the values we know. PQ is 50, so 50 squared equals PS squared plus 30 squared. 50 squared is 2,500, and 30 squared is 900. Therefore, 2,500 equals PS squared plus 900. Now subtract 900 from both sides. We get PS squared equals 2,500 minus 900, which is 1,600. Taking the positive square root, because PS represents a length, we get PS equals the square root of 1,600, which is 40. So the diameter of the larger circle is 40 units. We are almost finished. Since the diameter is twice the radius is half of 40. Therefore, the radius equals 40 divided by 2, which is 20 units. Now we can finally calculate the area. The area of a circle is pi multiplied by the radius squared. So the area equals pi multiplied by 20 squared. 20 squared is 400, so the area equals 400 pi square units. If we use pi approximately equal to 3.14, then the area becomes 400 multiplied by 3.14. Multiplying these gives 1,256 square units. So our final answer is 400 pi square units, or approximately 1,256 square units. Notice how the problem looked complicated at first because we had two circles, a tangent, a secant, and several different points. But once we found the tangent length using the tangent-secant theorem, proved the 90-degree angle using equal tangent lengths, recognized PS as the diameter using the converse of Thales' theorem, and then applied the Pythagorean theorem, everything came together very neatly. The most important values to remember are PQ equals 50, SQ equals 30, PS equals 40, and therefore the radius equals 20. So the area of the larger circle is 400 pi square units, approximately 1,256 square units. If you enjoyed solving this step-by-step geometry problem, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more challenging but easy to follow mathematics problems, and leave a comment telling me which step you found the most interesting.